Very nice. Good morning.
Good morning.
We're in a new month, and as we always do, we have a theme for the month. And our theme for the month is talking to yourself is fine. Just know what to say. And I heard Deborah say, I do it all the time. Talking to yourself things. We overheard us, but it is. It's something that we do. We talk to ourselves, and I know a lot of times people will say, it's okay to talk to yourself, just don't answer. I don't know about that. But talking to yourself is fine. Just know what to say. How many of you know what this is? It's a portable charger. It's a portable charger. For those of you that don't know, that if you've got a cell phone or something else that uses a USB connection, you can charge this, and then if you're out somewhere, you can use it to charge. And this portable charging block takes me to a story about two people who worked together. One was named Keisha, the other was named Alex. And they've been working together for a while, and one day, a new employee came on the scene named Sandeep. Sandeep, they showed around the office, and then they brought him to meet Keisha and Alex. They met, they exchanged pleasantries. A few minutes later, Sandeep comes up, he approaches the two of them, and he says, you know, I have a few extra of these around, and I thought I'd give these to you so that you could have one, because, you know, I really hate to be out somewhere and my phone is about to die, and I don't have any place to charge it. And so Keisha, who has a view of life that says that, you know, the universe is kindly intentioned toward us and that there are good and generous and kind people out there and all of that, she was very, very moved by what Sandeep did. She said, thank you very much for this. Thank you, I really appreciate it. And Alex, though, his mindset was that people are always out to get you. And there's nobody that's going to do something for somebody else just for the sake of it. He's going to want something in return. So he kind of grumbled and said thank you, and you know, they walked away. And they talked about it a few minutes later, and Alex was saying, I know that he's probably going to be after our jobs one day. He's just trying to butter us up to get us to relax and not think about it. And next thing you know, he's going to be our boss. And Keisha would say, what do you mean? There are good people in the world, the people that see things in a nice manner, and they do things and they're kind and generous and all of that. And then several weeks passed, and Sandeep came back up to Keisha and Alex, and he said, you know, I've got this big presentation due next week, and you know, I know you all do things maybe a little bit differently, and I'm a bit nervous about it. Could you give me some help? And Keisha, you know, their minds went back to the day that he gave them the charging block, and Keisha was like, well, sure, you know, I'll help you. You know, I can let you know it's not that hard. We can get into it, and I'll give you the benefit of my knowledge and those kinds of things. I know you'll do well. Don't worry about it. Just come on. Everything's going to be okay. Alex, on the other hand, was thinking about, So I knew he was going to come looking for something. I knew he was going to be expecting something. I knew it. And he just kind of, you know, thought for a moment. He said, sorry, man, you're going to be on your own. And then he walked away. Now, which of them's reality was true? Both. Both of their realities were true. Because Keisha had one way of viewing the world, and Alex had another. And for whatever way in which they viewed the world, something just as very simply as receiving a gift and then asking for something later was perceived by them two totally different things. But the same acts, different results. The same acts, different perspectives. And the thing of it is that what we notice in life, what we tell ourselves in life, what we look for in life, how we talk to ourselves in life will show up. We will see it again and again and again. If we think that the world is kindly intentioned toward us, that's what we will see showing up in our world. If we think that people are out to get us and things are not happening the way we want to, that's what we will get. Because what we notice and we pay attention to, what we expect is what shows up. And I know that both my daughter and my wife think I'm a little weird sometimes. That's their perception. But both of them drive cars that are not commonly seen. Shelly drives something that's called a Suzuki Reno, and you don't see a whole lot of Suzuki Renos around town. And Emma drives something called a Volkswagen EOS, and you don't see a whole lot of those around town. And I'm the type that, I had never seen a Reno before until she got one. And then after that, I started noticing the black Reno, a red Reno, a silver Reno, and then the same thing with Emma. She said, several years ago, I wanted a Volkswagen EOS. That's my dream car. I couldn't even tell you what one looked like. And then she got it, and I'd see them around town, a blue EOS, a red EOS, a charcoal gray EOS, and all of a sudden I started noticing them. And the thing about it, I would get really excited, and if I saw one, I would text Shelly and say, I just saw a blue Reno. The first couple of times she'd, say that's great, and then after that she'd send me a smiley face or something like that. And then if Emma and I are driving around and I see an EOS and I say, look, there's a blue EOS, and after the first couple of times, she would then give me the response that she gives when, said, And that lets me know, okay, let's move on to something else. But the fact of it is up until that point, I'd not really noticed those cars. And they're not commonly seen cars necessarily, but all of a sudden, I'm seeing them everywhere. Saw 3 EOSs yesterday and a couple of Renos yesterday. Because now my attention, my awareness is key to that, and what we look for, what we expect, shows up. What we look for, we begin to notice and we begin to pay attention, and as we begin to pay attention, it comes into our awareness, and so that becomes really, really important. And talking about noticing things, did you know that Coca-Cola in its first year only sold 25 bottles? 25 bottles of Coke were sold in the first year. And now, they don't even talk in terms of bottles. They talk in terms of sales, of billions of dollars in sales. No longer talking about bottles, no, way, way far away from 25 bottles a year to billions of dollars in sales. And how do they do that? I'd like to teach the world to sing. Anybody know that?
Perfect harmony.
And keep it company. It's the what? The real thing. Right. Yes. Share a Coke and a ba-da-ba-ba-ba. See, I switched gears on y'all, which I still knew. Anybody ever do this? 2 off beef patties? Turn down for
What?
turn down for what? Let's do it. Let's put a little local flavor on. NST is the way to go. Call. Let's try this one, another old school. Get dope out your veins. Get hope in your face. You'll never get nowhere. Smoking the pipe. Stay out of drugs. Stay away from the in crowd. Get it close to God. Repetition. Over and over and over that we have heard over and over and over again. No!
Yes.
No!
Yes.
You can't do that. No! You won't amount to anything. No! Do you know that the average person from the time of childhood until they reach adulthood, it's been estimated, has heard no, the word no, or you can't do that 148,000 times.
Wow.
148,000 times we've heard the word no, or you can't, or you won't ever be anything. And just like we were able to, complete those lines and those songs and all of that because of repetition, if we're able to do that for, hamburgers and soft drinks and law firms and everything else, how do you think hearing no 148,000 times from the time we are children until we reach adulthood? About the age of 21, I think, is where the study looked at. We've heard no 148,000 times. And it's been estimated that 77% of our thinking is negative or focus on things that we really don't want. When we talk to ourselves, what happens is we've taken those things that other people have said to us and about us, and we have accepted them. And 148,000 times for so many people, we have heard no, and you can't, and you won't, and you never will be. And all of a sudden, we wonder why. We wonder why. The things that we talk about, the things that we wish, the things that we treat and pray for, the things that we envision, all of those things, why we don't experience them in the way that we wish to. Because what happens is that even though we may say that I am going to do this, I'm going to make this happen, I'm ready to make my start, everything's going to happen 148,000 times has power. Power that we sometimes don't even notice, are not even aware of. We had to study about the power of your subconscious mind. Our subconscious minds are very powerful. And a lot of times we are not even aware of what it's doing. We're not paying attention. You go to somebody, you fix this nice elaborate dinner, and you've served it, and you're looking around at the people, and you say to somebody, did you like the meal? And they say, oh yes, I loved it. I really liked the meal. It was the best thing I ever tasted. Your mouth is saying yes, but what's your body saying? Oh, it was a great meal. I really loved the food. Oh, it was the best thing I ever tasted. Because subconscious mind asserting itself. And even though our mouth is saying one thing, it's doing another. So we have to become aware of that. And the thing of it is that I started out this morning with a story because, there are a lot of people that I meet and I talk about what it is that I do and what it is that I teach, and they talk about, well, you have all that airy-fairy, woo-woo kind of stuff, But the thing of it is that when you heard it, it was just a simple story of people working in an office environment. You have one person who trusted the world and trusted people, and another person who distrusted people in the world and those things, and then their responses and what they got out of life and how they saw things and how they saw what people did were very different. And for me, that's I have a couple of good friends that are agnostic and atheists, and I've shared that story with them, and they can say, well, I can see, what you're talking about from that perspective. And I'm not talking about, any of the part yet where, when we become aware of our thinking and we'll become aware of what it is that we are saying to ourselves. And still, you can kind of have it over there and not really talk about the connection that you get when you connect up with your divine self, with the divine power and all of that. But just over there, that people can see that. And I hope that you can see that you can see that it's important that we begin developing ways and continuing ways of talking to ourselves that help us to move past the programming and the conditioning that says, 148,000 no's must be right, to understanding that there is something different at work, that there is something more powerful at work. There is something that the power, my own power of repetition, and my own power of conviction, and my own power of knowing who it is that I am, and my own power of being connected will tell me. And when we begin to do that, things begin to change. And I remember years ago, as I first delved into the first time the waters of the New Thought, Ancient Wisdom teaching and all of this, I've shared this with you before, but it became so obvious to me. I was a teenager and I was in high school and I ran track, and I was not the best hurdler. I was just a okay hurdler. I enjoyed doing it more than anything. I had never won a race, but there just happened to be one day that my picture was in the paper. One of the photographers, we were at a meet, I was coming over a hurdle, and the photographer took my picture. I didn't know he had taken the picture, but the next day, I opened up the newspaper, and there in the sports section was my picture, and it had my high school's name, which was Chaminade Julienne, but they called it CJ for short, and it said CJ's Gilmore in perfect form, and I was coming over there. In perfect form. Didn't say I was in last place. So we got to this meet, and there was this guy from another high school that was fast. He was really fast. He could run sprints, he ran hurdles and everything. And when we were warming up, he was with his boys, and he started talking loud. Yeah, had you in the paper with, so-and-so. They should have had me because, I was kicking I'm not going to say what he said, it's a family show. But he was going on and on about how he should have been the one in the paper and not me. And as we got out there to run the race we were running were nowadays they do them in meters, but back then it was yards, and there were 330-yard intermediate hurdles is what the race that we were about to run. So we were getting there. And the thing for me, when I ran the 330s, by the time I got to about the third hurdle, I would always feel tired and exhausted at that point. And, it would really be a struggle for me to make it in. And he kept on talking and kept on saying stuff to me, and I just let it go, and I didn't really think about it. And then at a certain point, when we got ready to get in the blocks, I got mad. Because he's a little short, shorter than I am. I wanted to go over and I said, I don't have time for that now, and I get in all kinds of trouble. So I got down to the blocks, the starter, raised the pistol, called us, fired the pistol, bam, shot out of the blocks. Went over the first hurdle, kept running. Went over the second hurdle, kept running. Approaching the third hurdle, and I said in my mind to myself, I'm not tired. I am not tired. You can do this. You're not tired. Got over the third hurdle, kept going. The next thing I know, my chest hit the tape.
Wow.
I won the race. My sister came running all the way from down the stands, down onto the track to grab me. My other team members came out and everything. He wouldn't even shake my hand. My track coach was just laid back because he had been telling me all the time, it's coming, it's coming. And all he said was, I told you it was coming. First and only race can tell you, well, I took what I learned that day. And the next meet, and the next meet, and I went on to the Olympics and but it was enough in that moment to help me to understand that there is something at work in the universe that we can tap into. There is something that is available to us that right here and right now that can transcend 148,000 no's, that can turn 77% of negative thinking and stuff that's counterproductive around. There is something at work that is available to us. There is something that all of us, regardless of skin color, regardless of age, regardless of sexual orientation, regardless even of belief, that we can tap into, that's available to us. And the key to that is how we talk to ourselves. The key to that is what we accept for ourselves. The key to that. Remember, we already started talking about it several weeks ago, but understand that when we want to change and transformation in our lives, we first turn within. We give consent, meaning that we allow ourselves to be in that space and we don't take excuses or anything else. And then the third thing is we know that there is an already available faith that is already there. We say it like this: it's already done in the mind of God. Meaning that it's already happened. All we got to do is step into it, walk our talk, and talk our walk, and be congruent. And if we say what we say, what we say, what we say, what we mean, and allow it to be, then things start to happen. Transformation comes. Power, not, power where we impose our will on other people, but true power to live a meaningful and fulfilling life. As the master teacher said, I came that you might have life, and life more abundant. Tap into that. It's all right. So this month, what we're going to be talking about on Sunday mornings, what we're going to be talking about in the class, is how to talk to yourself in ways that are so sweet, and so motivating, and so powerful, that change ain't gonna come. It's already here. And so it is.